Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Today is getting the most ROI out of your software. So let's jump right into it. My name is Joyce Bradford. I am an attorney located in North Carolina. I'm just outside of Raleigh. I've been licensed for quite a while now, but I've worked in legal tech since 2001, where I had my first job in legal at the North Carolina Bar Association. I truly believe in service and giving back, which is one of the reasons I love doing these webinars. Personally, I'm a Girl Scout troop leader. That's how I give back to my community. So ask me about cookies if you're interested in the new flavor. All right, let's talk about understanding your tech stack. So first and foremost, what is a tech stack? Your tech stack is the software that you use in your firm on a daily basis, or even a weekly basis. It's just the software that runs your firm, right? We're going to talk about your training options for each one of the tools that are likely in your stack, and we're going to talk about how we can deliver more value with our current solutions. So let's just jump right into it. What's currently in your tech stack? First, email. Email is a solution that we all have, and we need to be getting more out of it. You need to drive your email hard, and we're going to talk about a few of the things that you can do. Your document management and document creation tools, you need to push further on these, and we'll talk about some of the solutions there. We're going to talk about time and billing. This is a time solve webinar, so we'll talk about some of the solutions that are available to you there. We'll talk about getting more out of your accounting. We'll talk about practice management features. I want to circle back to time solve and recognize it's not just a time and billing solution. There are practice management features there as well. We're going to talk about e-payments and driving functionality there. And lastly, e-signatures. So let's jump right into this presentation. First of all, email is the hub of your firm. It's where everything needs to live and breathe around, right? You are in there all day long. Not everything you do goes through a practice management software. Most of what you do for client communication is probably tracked back to email, whether it's document receiving or providing, whether it's just quick updates to your clients. You're in there a lot. And sometimes you're just communicating with other folks in your firm about what's happening on a case, and email is a great way to maintain those records, right? So what can we do with email to make sure that things are going the right way and that we are making good use of our time? First, you need to sync your contacts in your email across your systems. So for me personally, I'm an Apple user, so I sync my Outlook contacts to my Apple address. Now, you might be resistant to do that. I will tell you, it makes your life easier. Get it done. Sync those contacts. You already have them, whether they are in another phone system or an old email account. Sync your contacts. You never want to be in a situation where you accidentally type someone's name and you think it's going to Jenny Smith and it goes to Jenny Santeria. That's not what we want to have happen. You want to make sure that everyone's name is in there. If you already have an email address associated with them, put it in there. The worst thing you can do is send confidential client information, privileged information to someone who shouldn't have it. Typing in email addresses, whether it's on a keyboard or on a phone, makes your life harder. It opens you up to errors and being prone to miskeying something. So sync your contacts so you know you have the right information. Also a communication sync. Sync your communication across devices. Your email should not be just on your laptop. There's we live in a time where hustle culture is a thing. There's a little bit of a backlash to it. And frankly, I don't mind the backlash. However, because I want to be able to be free to go do the things that make me happy as an individual and are personally satisfying from an intrinsic level, I need to be able to respond to my clients. I need to be able to respond to my colleagues on the go, right? That means I have to have my communication synced across my iPad, my iPhone, my laptop. Download the apps and make that work for you. It is important. Don't be resistant to it. It actually gives you more freedom rather than less in a lot of ways, as long as you still have your boundaries set up. Calendars are the same way. You need to be syncing your calendars across your devices. And if you have a practice management solution, you need to be syncing your calendar there as well too. You should never be in a situation where you have to put calendar information into systems. That's inappropriate. You're a professional. You are not a data entry specialist. That's a wonderful job for someone whose job it is, but it is not your job. So sync your calendars across your devices, and schedulers are the same way. Drive functionality from Office 365 or whatever solution you're using, right? Use a calendar solution or a scheduling solution like Calendly, where someone can book time on your calendar. You can have designated times within the day that are blocked off that are available for Calendly appointments. You can even add buffers in there. You can link it to Zoom. Your Zoom account also needs to be connected to your email account. So if you schedule a meeting with someone and it's online, a Zoom room will automatically populate. You don't want to have to go and create Zoom rooms all the time. But that Calendly, allow people to schedule time for you. If you can take that time going back and forth with email or on the phone off your plate, off your assistant's plate, you absolutely should do that. And then with email, one thing that most people do not use is templates. And I will tell you, I'll be the first to tell you, the templating functionality in Office 365, the online version, is substantially subpar to the previous versions of Outlook that were available. However, using templates is still a good idea. You want to have templated emails for things that you send out on a regular basis. These are not just short emails. These can be extensive emails with bullet points, with detailed instructions, but you need to have that information ready to go so you aren't having to retype things or going back to sent folders previously. You want to have templates. Make sure that that's something that you have. Syncing your contacts across devices, syncing communication across your devices, syncing your calendars across devices, having a scheduler that's built into Outlook or that connects or syncs with Outlook that then works across your devices, and then templates. If you do one of those 5 things, you're going to drive more productivity from your email than you have right now. All right, let's talk about time and billing. Now, hopefully you are all TimeSolve users. That's why you're here in this presentation. So let's talk about time and billing. Bill as you go, bill as you go, bill as you go, bill as you go. Do not do anything other than bill as you go. What I mean when I say that is that you need to be using a timer. You need to be tracking your time as you move across what you're doing. Now, one of the wonderful things about TimeSolve, where it really rises above the competition, is you have the ability to track your time, whether you are online in the browser version of not Cosmolex, good gracious, I just looked at a Cosmolex presentation, whether you are on the online version of TimeSolve, or if you are in your actual desktop, right? There's a PC application of Cosmolex. Gracious, y'all, I am so sorry. There is a desktop version of TimeSolve that is available to you. So please make use of it. You do not have to be online. You do not have to be connected to the internet for that to work. When you do reconnect to the internet, everything will sync back up. So use that timer. There's no excuse not to use the timer. You also can create your tasks in TimeSolve to be marked as billable, or add those to an entry, and make sure you are adding an entry every single time you are making an appearance for a client, every single time you're meeting for a client. If you have something on your calendar that's client related, go ahead and create a time entry in TimeSolve, whether you know what you're going to bill for it in the future or not. Have it there. You can always come back to it. It's important. Use the app on the desktop. We already mentioned that. And look at your productivity by matters. If you're concerned that you're not getting enough functionality for the time and billing of TimeSolve, if you think, well, maybe it's time for me to go to a bigger solution, maybe I just am not getting the most out of this, look at your reports that are available to you. And one of the things that you can do is review how productive you have been. Look at how you can sort your matters. Look at how active you've been on your matters, but look at your productivity by matters and see where you need to focus, and see which clients are getting the most of your attention and which are not. And then that takes us over to accounting. Because TimeSolve is just time and billing. It's going to sync with an accounting program. So you might think, well, what do I need to do, right? I've got QuickBooks. Doesn't that do everything I need? How can I drive more functionality out of QuickBooks? And what I want to tell you is you don't need to drive functionality necessarily out of QuickBooks. You need to drive your accounting productivity more so from your TimeSolve perspective, right? Focus on this side where you're putting the majority of your time and effort. Use the built-in reports. Did you know that TimeSolve has more than 30 built-in reports for you to look at how productive you've been, where you're billing, how much you have in accounts receivable? You need to be looking at those reports on a monthly basis at minimum. You can use the budgets within TimeSolve to create matter budgets, but even more than that, before you even start working on a matter, you have the ability to really accurately estimate how much time, how much effort something is going to cost you or your client. Use the budgeting tools, use the estimator tools that are available to you in TimeSolve. Of course, sync your data with QuickBooks. This is just a no-brainer, but I need to put it in here. Make sure you've got that two-way sync. Again, one of the things that sets TimeSolve apart is the two-way sync between QuickBooks and TimeSolve. That's not something that you're going to see commonly in the time and billing or legal practice management field or arena. It's just not something that most companies have thought to do. So make sure you are appropriately syncing your data with QuickBooks and use the reconciliation reports that are available to you. Don't feel like you need to do everything in QuickBooks. You can compare the reports in TimeSolve that you have with what you have in QuickBooks, but use the reports to make sure that what you are recording in TimeSolve is going to accurately reflect what is in your QuickBooks account. It's really easy to see what's in QuickBooks and say, okay, that looks right. But if you're not looking at everything that you've done with a fine-tooth comb, it can be easy to miss something, right? That's why these reports come in handy. You need to be running the reports that are available to you. And if you have any questions about the reports that are available, your accounting specific reports that are available to you in TimeSolve, please contact the support team. So let's talk about practice management for a minute. This is one of the areas where people don't get a lot of use out of TimeSolve because they think that they are only using TimeSolve for time and billing. Well, you're not getting as much as you should from the software at this point. You have the ability to have document templates within Microsoft Word and export information from TimeSolve. There's something like 75 fields within TimeSolve right now, 75 fields. So you've got your name, your client name information, their billing information, their address, their matter name, all sorts of things that you can export to very easily create those fee agreements, the scope of representation agreements, letters of understanding, whatever you need to do. And so much more can be created from those document templates using only the fields that are in TimeSolve right now. So make sure you're using them. Within TimeSolve, I want to also make sure that you're setting up your matters correctly. There are lots of template tools that you can use to set things up the way that you want them to be, the way that you want to ultimately have them created at the end of the day, right? So you have matter templates and you also have custom billing templates that are available to you. So please use them. Don't feel like you need to do everything on a one-off basis. Try to get consistent with your various matter types and what you want that end result to be, and create your matter templates and your billing templates the way that you expect them to be set up. And please use bulk actions. Bulk invoice. If you are still invoicing your clients on a matter level, it's individually one-to-one, you are wasting time. And I know that that can feel scary to bulk invoice folks, but it is truly the way to get this done. Otherwise, you are not driving the most return from the investment that you're spending every single month for TimeSolve to be a successful solution for you, right? So use your bulk invoicing solutions, use the other bulk actions that are available to you. So let's talk about electronic payments. You might think to yourself, well, how is electronic payments a return on investment for me? Well, you as a firm are either passing on to your client costs for payments, or you as a surcharge, or you are paying them, right? There is a fee more than likely when you're using electronic payments. And for some folks, they say, well, that's exactly why I don't have electronic payments. That's why I don't accept credit cards. I don't want to manage that fee process. I will tell you, overwhelmingly, we see in this industry that folks who allow clients to pay with a credit card get paid faster and get paid more than those who don't. It might seem counterintuitive that when you pay to get paid, that you make more money, but truthfully, that's what the statistics bear out on this. So it's worth spending time investigating this for your firm. So let's talk about how, if you do institute electronic payments, how you can make it work. And of course, there is a built-in solution within TimeSolve. Again, we're talking about driving the return on this. You don't pay a subscription fee for it, so it makes the most sense to use that particular payment processor. But when you have electronic payments, you want the payments tied to a specific invoice. So when an invoice is paid, it is reflected in the system that that invoice is paid, and it's real-time updates. That is what you want. Anything that requires you to do separate reconciliation is a waste of time. It's either a waste of your time or it's a waste of your staff's time. There's a solution for it. Institute the solution. You want to be able to pay directly from the invoice, right? Not only do I want my payment link tied to an invoice so I can see it back in my system on the back end, I want my link to for that client to pay me to be visible. I want them to see it as soon as they open the invoice. It needs to be right there. Again, that's going to drive that payment. And then, of course, you always want to be able to receive payments by credit card or by e-check. With the solution built into TimeSolve, you can receive both. Not every solution allows you to do that. And with incredibly competitive rates, generally market leading rates, you're going to get a better deal on this payment processor than any other payment processor. It's built in, it's integrated into your system, it ties directly to your invoices, it saves you or your staff time. This is how you drive the return on your investment. If you don't do anything else from this webinar, this is the one that you need to do. And then lastly, let's talk about e-signature. So capturing your electronic signatures can be a challenge, and there's a lot of options out there. Do you use DocuSign? Do you use HelloSign? Do you use PandaDocs? Do you use Adobe? Who knows? Is there truly a benefit to one versus the other? And the answer here comes down to the solution that you are currently using, because again, you want to drive investment. It's not about finding the cheapest solution. Sometimes that is the best way, but what we want to do is look at price, and we also want to look at overall savings from time, energy, sync headaches, whatever it happens to be. In this case, I highly recommend a solution that is integrated with TimeSolve, which is LexShare, LexSign. Oh goodness, that's Rocket Matter. Let me get that out of here, guys. I apologize for that. There we go. All right, so I again recommend LexShare, LexSign. That's going to be the best solution for you. And let's come down. Again, folks, do several of these. And sometimes my brain gets a little cross-wired, but LexShare LexSign is available today. You just need to turn it on. You can contact the support team at TimeSolve to make sure that's available to you. You can even collect signatures from email. You don't even need to log into another system to make it happen. You can use the plugin that's available with LexShare LexSign. Send a request for a signature from your email. Your client gets an email from you, not a third-party document collection or a signature collection party. It comes from you. You're a trustworthy source. They know that they're working with you. They'll open the document. They'll get it signed. You don't even have to give them a separate login and password. You can verify their identity through a variety of authentication questions. What's their last 4 digits of their social, right? What is the color of the front door of my office, right? Whatever it happens to be, you can set these wild questions and they can sign the documents and get them back to you in a really rapid turnaround time. And then you can retain documents in Matter folders directly within the LexSign tool. So it's already part of the LexShare LexSign ecosystem, so you don't need to manage anything else. I hope you have a wonderful day, and please reach out to us at timesolve.com.